Hi, welcome to ANI Pluto. Let's start the video. In the previous episode, Ushio figured out that his mom is as yet alive, so he went out with Tora to find about her. In the following episode, we see a plane where a beast has folded itself over the plane so the pilot couldn't handle it. All of a sudden, an image of his girl tumbles from the pilot, and he is miserable in light of the fact that he cannot get back this time. After this, the plane accidents. Next, we see Ushio and Tora, who might come to the air terminal to go to Hokkaido, yet seeing the plane, Tora was exceptionally energized. That is when Itsuzawa starts to clear up for Yuchan that my Jed and your dads nearly collided with one another, yet it's nobody's shortcoming in this, since it was all a result of a folded beast himself over the plane, after which the plane crashed. Now, Ushio was listening mindfully to Itsuzawa, yet Yuchan doesn't accept his words since she thinks Itsuzawa is lying, yet Ushio trusts Itsuzawa's words, so he promptly begins getting some information about this beast. Then Tora tells perhaps it is Fazuma, who lives overhead and in some cases comes on surface to kill people. After this, Tora tells, I have battled with him before, yet killing him isn't that simple in light of the fact that gnawing, hitting, and lightning can do nothing to him except for a ton of fire is his shortcoming. Now Tora asks Ushio, will we find both of those overhead yet? Ushio say nothing. Yuchan and Itsuzawa were likewise going on a similar plane in which Ushio and Tora were going, yet Yuchan considered Itsuzawa to be the killer of his dad. Now Ushio attempts to converse with her, yet as the plane leaves, Yuchan begins crying since she was feeling the loss of her dad. Seeing this, Ushio quiets her down. Then Yuchan begins telling that my dad was the pilot of the plane that crashed a month prior and the plane that nearly stirred things up around town. Military aircraft Itsuzawa was flying it, who used to work under my dad. That is the reason Yuchan considers Itsuzawa to be the killer of her dad. Then we see that Fazuma has begun coming towards the plane. Now Itsuzawa begins conversing with Ushio on the grounds that he comprehended that Ushio accepts him. Itsuzawa begins telling that day I saw something overhead, however it didn't appear on the radar, and when my warrior fly was nearly to crash with the plane, I saw a beast on it unexpectedly. This plane begins to wobble, and it would appear Fazuma has shown up on the plane. Seeing this, Itsuzawa quickly goes to keep an eye on the pilot. Now Tora tells Ushio to deal with this beast with the monster's lance, yet he don't have the lance right now. Then Tora reminds him and advises him to call the lance. Hearing this, Ushio calls the lance, and promptly it comes to him. Now Yuchan was stunned to see him. Anyway, Ushio could do nothing on the grounds that Fusuma was in the air. Then again, Fazuma has killed the pilot, so Itsuzawa attempt to control the plane since he needs to safeguard Yuchan and everybody except the control framework were not working, and Fazuma harms on Suzawa. Now Ushio requests that Tora go through the wall to the outside and beat Fazuma, yet Tora won't do so. That is the reason Ushio utilizes Monster Skewer, after which Tora comes outside where Fazuma was before him, and he remembers it. After this, he begins asking Tora, what are you doing here? Yet Tora assaults him with his shoot, in view of which a portion of his body parts get obliterated. Yet seeing this, all the traveler begins overreacting. Now Yuchan had additionally seen Tora and Fazuma, so she begins to accept that this beast has killed her dad. Tora was attempting to kill Fazuma, yet none of his assaults significantly affected him. Now Yuchan comes to keep an eye on Itsuzawa and gets stressed seeing him harmed. Now Itsuzawa demands reinforcement from Jazz and lets them know that a beast has gone after the airplane. That is the reason he wants a quick reinforcement of an equipped contender stream, yet they distinguish nothing on the radar. That is the reason they make no move. This thing stresses Itsuzawa, yet he believes that nothing should happen to Yuchan. That is when Ushio lets him know that Fazuma can be killed with a ton of discharge, yet they must choose between limited options for this. That is the reason they need a rocket here. Tora assaults Fazuma, yet even its discharge significantly affects him on the grounds that Fazuma couldn't be killed with a low shoot. No, Tora lashes out at Ushio on the grounds that he was not utilizing Monster Stick, so he advises him that the Monster Stick was made to kill yokai, so he can wound that beast outside through the wall. Hearing this, Ushio prepares to utilize the Monster Skewer. He requests that Tora utilize his lightning power, while he will go after from beneath with Monster Skewer. After this, Tora begins going after Fusuma, and Ushio likewise prepares, yet Yuchan was wrinkled by her dad's demise, so she additionally needs to kill Fazuma with him. Seeing this, Ushio takes her with him. Now Tora assaults Fazuma with his lightning power, after which Ushio additionally utilizes Monster Stick. Due to this, Fazuma gets harmed, and Jasp likewise recognizes something obscure on the radar, yet Fusuma was as yet alive, and he begins going after Tora by the aviation-based armed forces has left for help, and they quickly Contact Satsuzawa. Now Atsuzawa enlightens him concerning Fazuma, which must be killed by a ton of discharge, so he tells the Flying Corps to go after with rockets, yet the aviation-based armed forces couldn't go after with rockets in these conditions. Now Tora asks Ushio to take him to the highest point of the plane since he needs to cut up Fasumo with monster skewer. Hearing this, Atsuzawa and Yuchan preclude him to do so, yet he has no different choices, so he comes to the highest point of the plane with Tora. Now both go together to go after Fazuma, yet Fazuma catch the two of them effectively anyway. Ushio removes the two its hands with Monster Lance, and Tora annihilates the two legs with his shoot. Now due to this, Fusuma gets isolated from the plane, thusly the aviation-based armed forces effectively locks the objective and assaults it with rockets, whose wild discharge begins obliterating Fazuma, yet he begins saying that Monster's brew is out on the planet, that is mean Hakuman is going to show up anyway. Fazuma thinks his karma is great since he would rather not meet Hackerman. After this, Fusuma gets annihilated. Now Tora and Ushio were protected, that is the reason Yuchan becomes blissful, yet the back arrival gear was not working, so Ushio likewise gets frightened by this. Seeing this, Tora begins giggling, then Ushio expresses him there isn't anything you can do. Likewise, in light of the fact that you can't lift up this plane, this enrages Tora, and he prepares to lift up the plane to show what him can do. After this, the plane to range at Toro with his power prevents it from crashing, yet presently Yuchan grasped reason for her dad's passing, so she is sorry to Atsuzawa. After this, Ushio leaves with Torin. Yuchan says that we will meet in the future. In the following scene, a beast kills many individuals, and his name was Juru. Seeing this, as Ken need to stop him, yet people have taken his home, that is the reason he despises them and kills them out of frustration. Now his kin need to stop him since it is excessively risky for people and afterward for them excessively anyway. The only one ready to stop him is the person who controls the monsters. Lance. Following day, Ushio lost the cash that his dad provided for him, so he was irate along these lines, yet presently two individuals were following him unexpectedly. Something attempt to go after a young lady, and Ushio thinks it is a hurricane, yet Tora let him know it is really a Kamatachi. All of a sudden it attempted to go after on Ushio. Seeing this, Sushio assault with monster stick, yet as he goes to kill him, a woman stops him and solicitations to pay attention to her. Before that, then Tora tells Ushio that they were trying you to check whether you could truly control the monster's lance. Now they take Ushio and Tora to the profound mountain where they used to reside. Now they uncover that they are truly old yokai, and individuals call them Kamatachi. Now they beg Ushio to kill their sibling. Hearing this, Ushio lashes out on the grounds that they need to kill their own sibling. All of a sudden, Ushio sees the dead body of a resident. Then Raisan starts saying that assuming we leave things as they are, a greater amount of your human brethren will be killed by Juru. Now Kagari brings detached on the grounds that Raisan needs to converse with Ushio in private, yet she thinks Tora is feeble. Then Tora says, I thought Yukamatachi resided further south. Hearing this, Kagari blows up and say that we were constrained out by people, that is the reason I disdain people here. Raisan lets Tora know that we Kamatachi work in threes. The principal trips a human, the second cuts the human, and the third treats the injury. Currently proportion tells that this is the way we safeguard our home. Separated from this, Kagari's medication takes the injury action right away, yet we have a standard we can't kill people with practically no explanation, since in such a case that this happens, then people will obliterate us. Yet you plays broken this part, so he should pay with his life. Now Raisan demand Ushio to loan him the force of monster skewer. Then again, Tora begins getting some information about her sibling. Then Kagari says you can do nothing in this since you are terrified of the monster skewer. Now Tora blows up along these lines, yet Kagari likewise takes out her edge. That is when Tora finds something wrong here, so he asks Kagari to stop, yet she cuts his hand. Unexpectedly comes here and tells Raisan, I will kill the people. Now Raisan attempted to recalling that him about the standard, yet he was not stressed over the standard since they needed to leave their home due to people. After this, Gems additionally eliminates the human structure since he needs to let people know what his identity is. Proportion requests that he stop this in light of the fact that by doing this they will likewise be in harm's way anyway. Was not stressed over this. All of a sudden he get the vibe of monster skewer, so he comprehends that his kin have taken human assistance so they can kill him. Now Ushio indignantly goes to kill Juru, yet he harms him effectively. He then, at that point, goes to kill Lucio, yet Tora assaults him with his cut-off hand and says that I am the person who will eat him. After this, Tora goes to go after him, yet he takes off from here. Now Tora asks Lucio to leave, yet he is going to pass on, so Tora blows up. That is when Kagari tells that there is a method for saving his life. Now Tora furiously begins getting some information about this, then Kagari enlightens him regarding her medication in light of the fact that Kamitachi's physical issue must be recuperated by her medication. Kagari then utilizes her medication and saves Lucio's life anyway. He needs to prevent Waru from killing people all at once. He sees Tora's cut-off hand and starts agonizing over it, yet Tora says I simply have to stick it back on. That is the reason Lucio does. Likewise, seeing this, Tora inquires as to for what reason are you so stressed over aiding me now. Then Lucio says this is on the grounds that I am a human. After this, they go to the building site in light of the fact that you went there to kill people, yet Lucio feels something was off with Master, and it appears to be crying. Kagari begins saying it is the human shortcoming that Juru wound up like that on the grounds that before that they used to reside in a spot named Hida, yet people feared them. That is the reason they used to avoid people. An area in those days, Gems was a swordworm yokai who might falter even to remove a human's pinky finger, and he generally needed to reside there. However, at that point people began development, due to which they disappeared, yet any place they used to go exactly the same thing occurred with them. In view of what began loathing people after this, Kagari says we might need to kill him, yet my heart will continuously be with my sibling. After this, each of the four come to the building site where Juru was additionally there. Now Kagari needs to converse with Juru, yet he was enraged, so he attempts to kill Lucio. Seeing this, Kagari and Raisan stop him, and Kagari clears up for him. Killing the people presently wouldn't tackle everything except we can reside elsewhere. To this, Adornment says irately we will be pursued out in the future, yet I have had enough of that consultation. This Lucio assaults him with monster stick, yet this time Juru can't confront it, so he cuts the mountain and drops it on them. Now Tora and Lucio hold the mountain up, yet Kagari and Raisan were stuck under the truck. Separated from this, fuel was likewise spilling, so assuming that it touches off it will detonate. Now Lucio requests that Tora help them, yet he alone couldn't do whatever. All at once Juru begins saying, are you attempting to ask for leniency by doing this conference? This, Tora asks, do you disdain people that much? To this, Juru says, okay, I do, on the grounds that they drove us out of our home. Then Lucio says, I'm one of the people that annihilated your home, so come and kill me. Now Juru irately goes to kill him anyway. Tora stops him with the assistance of the stone and tells Lucio the people took his home, yet why for heaven's sake would it be a good idea for you need to get cut? Then Lucio says that I never even mold over everything, except when a processing plant or whatever else that is valuable to us is fabricated, we drive out whatever else resided there before, on the grounds that when I was a youngster the wilderness exercise center was my unique spot and I cherished it, yet when some youngster tumbled off it they destroyed it over security concerns, so I detested them who removed something I cherished. Now Lucio gets extremely profound and expresses sorry to Juru in light of the fact that he can do nothing to assist him with getting his home back. That is the point at which a gathering of development laborers comes here, and one of them tosses the stone at Master, because of which Juru flies off the handle. Seeing this, the specialist gets frightened and the cigarette falls into the gas, because of which it bursts into flames, yet Toro couldn't lift the truck alone. Seeing this, Uru helps him, yet the errand was as yet troublesome. Now Lucio demands help from the development laborers. Hearing this, numerous specialists come to help them, because of which the existences of Kagari and Raisan are saved. Now Lucio tells Juru, I will find somewhere else for you folks to reside where you can reside in harmony. Hearing this, Ru says in the event that could happen it would be perfect, yet unexpectedly he wounds himself with the monster's lance, since he needed to hear most were the words Lucio said after this. Jwaru says his kin, on the off chance that you will endure, you can't surrender your human structures, perhaps there isn't a spot left for us in this world after all. After this, Juru kicks the bucket, yet this makes Gucci gracious and everybody miserable. After this, the episode closes, yet in the event that you have missed the past part, certainly watch the video of the left side.